This is a review of Survivor Season 48, Episode 1, The Get to Know You Game. Welcome back. We have a full review of Survivor, the premiere of Season 48. With me, as always, Richie. Welcome back to another season of Survivor. How do you feel?
We are back. I feel great, man. I feel like we always say this. We're always so excited when the first season kicks off. And I think we've been pretty blessed the past, honestly, since we started doing the podcast,
Yeah.
that we've gotten some pretty good seasons. And so far from the one episode, I feel like we're in for a good season.
Yeah, dude, and it's almost like we're like in a golden era. It's getting that way. We're stacking a lot of really
Hmm.
great seasons. Um, but yeah, we're gonna do a full review all season long. We do a lot of fun things. We break down the entire episode. We're gonna rename the episode. Like I said, it's the Get to Know You Game was the name of the episode. We're gonna rename it ourselves. We're going to do a Survivor press conference. What would we ask Survivor Castaways or Jeff if the episode just ended and we had a chance to ask him a question? And yeah, we'll do stock up, stock down, which Survivor's Castaway stock is up and stock is down. And because this is a very special season, the fans are in control of season 50, according to Jeff Probst. And each week there are polls for fans, and we're going to break down our answers. You sent me some of yours, and we disagree on a
Hmm.
few, so that'll be good to get into. We did a great preview episode for this show, and during the
Yeah,
preview
we did.
episode, Richie, you and I both picked who we thought would go home first.
Hmm.
And the little bit of housekeeping is that you were correct, and so therefore I must take a
Yep.
shot. That's them rules. The rules that I
The
created and
rules of the DBN.
the rules of the DBN that I created that have mostly gotten myself in trouble. So like your record is
Honestly, yeah.
you probably are up on me by like at least 4 or 5 picks. Um, so I'm going with Pink Whitney just because the hockey season has been hot. We're
Hmm.
getting towards the bottom of it. But yeah, how do you feel about your pick? You picked Stephanie to go home. Stephanie went home.
Yep.
How do you feel about that?
Obviously we'll get into it and everything throughout the episode, but I needed this one after last year. I picked the person who I picked to go home first ended up winning the show. So I felt like I really needed this to redeem myself from last year.
Yeah.
Even though I picked a couple throughout the season who did go home the next week, you picked the winner to go out first, and that's just awful. So I'm
Yeah.
glad I got this one. Yeah.
Yeah. And well, we'll get into it too, but I was a little nervous because my winner got their name written down. Say that's who I picked to win. And
Yeah.
yeah, there was a second there where it felt like, oh no, that could be
Hmm.
me. Which I also feel like I was like, man, I probably should take a shot for that too, because that's just an absolute terrible pick. Um, but the but Survivor is back, and let's just start off
Hmm.
by going through the episode. That cold open, man, it opens up. It's crazy. They keep leveling up those openings
Hmm.
every
Yeah.
time, and I'm actually shocked in 48 seasons. Maybe it has happened. I don't think it has, but we open up with their audition kind of zooms and them all being
Hmm.
told you're on Survivor, which oh man, were you getting chills? Were you getting like
Oh,
how
for
did
sure,
you
bro.
this was a great
I
introduction. You
love
got Go ahead.
I love this part because Big Brother always does that every year where they show each
Oh.
person getting their key to the house every season to start the season. And it's one of the coolest things that you can just see how excited these people are. And I think part of it obviously might be a little bit acting because they probably have to do a couple takes, but still you can tell that there's raw emotion in these people, especially when it was on Zoom because there's no way to stage that one. So
Yeah.
I think it was really cool. Job well done by Survivor.
Yeah. I'm sure that moment that you get told you're on Survivor has got to be the most exciting. Especially
Hmm.
like we're in an era where it is mostly super fans. We talked about there's might be one or two that aren't super fans, but it's such a cool moment. And then they just kind of show them riding in on the boats. That's all pretty normal. Then the marooning happens. Everyone's going nuts, and Jeff says that's the biggest reaction he's ever seen. Which there's definitely been some spazzy maroonings where they're
Yeah.
going nuts, but yeah, everyone just hyped off the bat, and yeah, pretty straightforward marooning. getting to know everybody. A lot of great personalities in this cast. Like gosh, right off the bat, and overall, like maybe one of the more emotional first episodes ever too, where I was like, damn, they're already working me. Usually this is like family visit level emotions, but just some great connections and like a really good display of like, man, do you go for the social game or do you start gameplay right away? And I mean, New Era is just so unforgiving. We get to the first challenge though, and Kevin, who is a pretty big part of this episode, as he's going underneath the net and in the mud, he hurts his shoulder. Now, you're a doctor, Richie. Give me your take.
Yeah.
I mean, in the preview, they said this on the podcast. In the preview, like of the season, Jeff did go medic, medic, and there was a moment where they brought in the medics, and they didn't show it here because apparently it was fine and he got to keep going. But what did you think was happening when you first saw it?
I mean, at first I thought he just like strained a muscle or something, but I did go back and read some of the stuff. And they said that he did dislocate the shoulder.
Yeah,
So, I mean, we know what happened the last time somebody dislocated a shoulder on episode 1.
yeah, and I
They
mean,
went on to win the show. So,
wait, really?
Tyson, he
Oh my
dislocated the
gosh.
shoulder on episode 1.
Oh, wait. Well, what about the
Yeah.
guy who was like climbing the rocks and fell and like he was in a sling?
Yeah.
That might have been a dislocation too.
Yeah.
But wow, yeah, you're
Yeah.
right.
I don't think that was the first episode, though.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Mhm.
you're right. But no, yeah, it was definitely an injury, and the way he was like rolling it, it felt like he'd maybe done that before, and
Yeah.
he knew.
hmm
Is that the right move if you've messed up your shoulder? If your shoulder pops out, to just keep
Yeah.
like,
Try to get it to pop back in, honestly.
yeah, dude, and it's shades of Bruce because Bruce got hurt on the first event, the first challenge of his season, and we had to wait till next season to see what Bruce was made of. But Loggy wins. It kind of like it seems like Loggy, which is the purple tribe, correct?
Yeah.
They're pretty stacked, like in the sense,
Man, yeah.
like that they have Joe and even Thomas seems pretty strong. Like they just far and away
Yeah.
won this thing.
Civa, who plays men's hockey.
Yeah, and then Star is a WNBA player, or not WNBA player, but
Yeah.
a basketball player. Like
Yeah.
they're pretty stacked, and they
Mhm.
run away with this thing. And I don't know, pretty strong tribe. 2 people get sent away for the journey. And I kind of want to jump right to the journey because really a lot of this episode is them getting to know each other at camps. And maybe we'll break it down each tribe and how each tribe develops. But let's go right to the journey because Kyle and Kevin go head to head for tribe supplies for machete, a pot, and flint. What did you make of this? Did you like that it was a cool – I love that it was a cool showdown where they're running off. But also Kevin's hurt, which is crazy that they sent the hurt guy. I mean –
Wild that they would send him, man. Like, you don't know what you're sending him into. I mean, it could have been a see how long you can hold yourself up challenge, and he's done right there.
Oh, my gosh, yeah. And it's –
But I really liked the duel. I really liked how they gave them kind of free reign of how to get the supplies. There was no, you must chop the bamboo down and get the pot. It was get the pot by any means necessary, which I thought was really cool because they both had different strategies that they went for.
Yeah.
And so it was cool to kind of see how their mind processed mid challenge.
Yeah, and Kevin, because he had to, was going slow and steady to win the race, and that was honestly working. Of course, until Kyle breaks the glass jug, which I wonder if that happened during practice because they like run these challenges a bunch, and I watched it again, and it wasn't when he tipped; it was when he was walking back that like the whole thing fell and hit it, which makes you think like well, those pots got to be heavy. They did look heavy. But those things like must be cast iron, like real heavy. Pretty wild, but then a good moment there where, he lost and he broke his jug and he goes and he helps Kevin out. Rachel had a really good point on the podcast. She's like, dude, from the moment you're on that beach until Jeff says sole survivor, every bit is gameplay. Do you think like you would have had the state of mind to go, I should just go help him? Because a part of me, I would think I'd be pissed and I'd pout a little bit.
Yeah, and I think while I was watching it too, I wasn't necessarily paying that close attention because I was thinking like, was this part of the rules where he couldn't break the glass? Because I thought it was more of the get the key by whatever means necessary. And I thought, oh man, maybe he's gonna get the key way
Oh,
quicker because he broke the glass. But they must have told him that they weren't allowed to.
yeah,
So, but
yeah.
I mean, I think he made the right move. I would want to say that I would be in the same mindset as him, but
It's
you never
hard.
know once you're out there and your heart's racing, mind's going.
Yeah, the adrenaline's running. But I mean, it was a good gameplay, and I would actually love to see that pay off, like down the
Hmm.
road, like these two,
Oh
linking
yeah.
up. I mean, I feel like we don't see that a ton where they go on these journeys and they actually,
Hmm.
become a real unit. But a cool moment and really a smart move. If you are gonna lose, just go out helping and swinging. Um, but yeah, fascinating stuff. Um, Back at Orange Tribe, we get back to Orange, and this is a funny group because you got the stunt guy, you got the who else you got on this team? Uh,
Camilla's on this team.
Camilla's on this team.
Kyle.
Kyle, funny group, and like they
Hmm.
seem to find. I like that they find the idol kind of backwards. We do see an idol gets found on episode 1,
Hmm.
but the clues are a little backwards. And it seems like each tribe has a different way to get their idol. They might all have that Da Vinci
Hmm.
Code, as they said on the podcast, type device to get the idol, but I don't know, like the way that this whole tribe came together. Also, yeah, my guy who I picked to be a fan favorite, what's his name? Oh shoot, what's that guy's name? The one
Um.
with the stutter.
Oh, Mitch.
Mitch. And they got Mitch on this
Yeah.
team as well. It is funny. They all were back and they were washing off, and it was like, all right, so should we get to work? A lot of good camaraderie, a lot of good teamwork here. They find the letters behind the rope and whatnot, but they're all working
Hmm.
together. Isn't that a little alarming that you all are searching for the idol together?
Oh, for sure. And I mean, Charity even said that she was like, if I was David, I would never would have said a word to anybody about this, and I would have kept that to myself.
Yeah,
And I think she brings up a good point in saying that too.
yeah, yeah.
But I also kind of get it because it's the first day. You don't want to do too much and have that huge target on your back, which has been seen happen over and over again.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, over at the Green Tribe is kind of where we see like this is what I was worried about is that Say was my pick, and Say comes out right
Hmm.
away, and Stephanie are just playing two different games. If we're at the Green Tribe now, that like even Stephanie said like I'm a go getter, I like run important teams, like I make huge
Hmm.
deals, I'm a big deal, but like I'm gonna sit on my hands. That's what she says. I'm gonna sit on my
Yeah.
hands, and I'm not gonna overstep, which honestly sometimes is a good move that like if you're
Yeah.
aggressive or you're going to tell people what to do that like you should maybe take a step back, but I honestly was feeling her and I was like, yeah, that's probably the right move when Say was like, let's talk strategy, and it was like, I want to talk about your mom. Did you feel that whose
See,
side were you on for that?
no, see, I disagree with that. I think it's cool to keep it low, lay low, don't go full force. But if somebody comes up to you, you can't like divert. You have to talk to them about it. At least appease them for a little bit and say, "Yeah, I'm 100% down to ride with you,"
Yeah,
just for that little bit of time,
yeah.
at least.
Yeah, no, because you saw that across the board is that people were walking to the water well and
Hmm.
being like, "Hey, I like you. I like you. We good? We're good. Let's do this. All
Yeah,
right, we're good. Awesome." And
and I wonder if part of that plays back to at the very beginning. Jeff tells them he wants them to play more aggressive this season, kind of in
yeah,
a way.
yeah,
And I think that's part of production and Jeff trying to get more aggression early on.
yeah, yeah. You had tweeted that like people are playing hard right now
Hmm.
early, and yeah, it is a
Yeah.
good thing because I mean we haven't seen like a ton of people start off early because I think people get to the beach and a lot of them are just like overwhelmed and nervous and like don't react correctly. Like, even Jeff said, like, I did not think Stephanie would sit on her hands. And I thought Stephanie was going to be like a pretty strong player, which I'm sure he saw some
I,
things, but she
yeah,
chose.
on my prediction, I did predict her, but I predicted why for the wrong reasons. I thought she was going to come in and be too aggressive, play very hard,
Yeah.
and she didn't do any of that. But
Yeah. Another interesting thing that happens with this Green Tribe is they do start a fire. Mary starts the fire, but she
yeah.
says like in the new era, like nobody effing cares, and
Hmm.
I want to ask, is that because strategy is the most important, or is that because there's only 26 days or 28 days or whatever? Because like in old Survivor, it was, man, we got to keep Ozzy around. He feeds us. We got to keep,
Yeah.
Rupert around. He gets fish. Like, we need these people around. He knows how to make fire. Like, is it true that making fire doesn't mean anything?
Yeah, and in the old seasons too, they didn't start off with fire. Even if they won that first, it would be like I think a week or two before they finally got that flint. And so if you had someone who could make fire with no flint, that was the biggest asset you could have.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's I don't know, it's just wild that like that's not that big of a deal anymore. But because the game
Mm-hmm.
has become more about gameplay than it is Survivor, to be honest. And yeah, they're starving, and yeah, like, they're they're struggling out there. But it's less about that. It's more about get in and let's start playing this game. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's wild. I think anything else from the Green Tribe, I guess, before we get to Immunity Challenge. I'm going to go to the Purple
I
Tribe
think
next.
I think the only thing I put in there was that I really didn't like Stephanie's hat.
Dude, okay, that's a Survivor press conference question. Is who let her bring that? I mean, dude, well, I don't know. Like, it makes you wonder. Like, do they get like a choice of like you get 7 clothing items, and she chose a hat? Which,
I guess,
dude,
man.
a hat's not a terrible thing because I'm sure you can block the sun.
But that hat?
Yeah, I mean, it probably added to her persona and whatnot because she was talking about
Yeah.
Reiki, Reiki
Mm.
massages and stuff like that, and I was like, that's bougie. Then she got this bougie hat going. That's a good note. But yeah, because the hat
I
was
did also put in the green. Kevin kind of gets off to a good start. He has that alliance with Mary, and then he makes an alliance with Say, Cedric, and Justin as well.
yeah, yeah. No, yeah, it's they're in a good spot there. Like Justin
Hmm.
and Kevin, we'll talk about it when they get closer to the vote. They were in a great spot. But yeah,
Hmm.
Say didn't like make me nervous because I thought she was playing too hard because it is first episode and I don't know. It's just I think it's clear that even she would admit it. Like she's pushy and she's over expressive and like I don't know, like she's clearly ready to freaking play, but we've seen like I don't know that she has the overconfidence of Rome, but she definitely has the aggressiveness of like, dude,
Hmm.
I'm here to make this happen. And sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad. But I guess if it's episode 1, you might have people around you who are nervous and are hoping to latch to people who are want to be aggressive. Because I honestly think I would sit back and let other people be aggressive, and then I'd jump on the aggressive people to like
Hmm.
just through the first couple. I don't think that's that crazy of a strategy.
For sure.
The Purple Tribe, Logi. This is a pretty powerhouse tribe. I don't see this tribe losing. I could see them going on a big run, but also like this might be just the best tribe to hang out with too. Because
Seriously.
lot of good vibes happening over here at the Purple Camp.
Hmm.
But I mean, like the big moment of the episode, I just want to get right to it, was Eva and Joe,
Hmm.
right? Like Eva is the person you picked to be fan favorite, and
Fan favorite. Yeah.
great pick, great pick. Because
Yeah. I'm loving that so far.
it's an interesting dynamic, and it is crazy that in 48 seasons something like this hasn't happened where she's on the spectrum. She talks about autism, talks about we have heard this before of people who like weren't supposed to live but they're here today. Like she was
Hmm.
told she couldn't live on her own or couldn't support herself, but like she's here and she's doing it. And she finds a Joe to link with, and she opens up to Joe because man, it's so interesting that like she can't read when people are lying. Genuinely cannot
Hmm.
process that. And in this game, that is everything. And it's funny because from I think she picked the perfect person to like
Oh,
align with
100%.
because he's Papa Bear, but
Hmm.
he's also like and you see him in this great confessional after she opens up to him and tells him what could go wrong if she becomes overwhelmed. And just letting him in on the secret that she'll eventually tell people. Like he thinks about his daughter, and there's this great moment, and I saw it that it cut to him, and in his confessional, it slowly starts to zoom in because he like put his hands out and he's like, I got her. And like, if it ruins my game, if I go home early, Like I'm choosing to commit to that. How do you like from a game standpoint? Like, how do you feel about this? Because it is like there's humanity here, but man, isn't it? Hasn't it always been
Hmm.
in Survivor? This is a game. Like, it doesn't matter who you are. This is a game.
For sure, but I've wanted for so long the past couple of seasons for an alliance to stick together till the end, no matter
Yeah,
what.
yeah,
Who cares if? And I know it sucks. Who cares if you think that the other person's going to beat you? Stick together. Like I think that's so admirable and very cool.
yeah,
And I love this. Seems like it's going to be one of those types of alliances.
yeah.
It brought me back to Banu saying something about wanting to win a million hearts, and I think Joe won a million hearts
Dude,
last night.
you know what's funny is like, so my coworker literally said that exact sentence to me. He's like, "Dude, Joe won a million hearts last night." I was like, "Yo, you're
Yeah,
right." But also, Eva won a million hearts. Like she did too, and like
for
I'm rooting
sure.
for
Oh
her. And
yeah,
like her bringing in that bamboo and like with a big old smile on her face, and like
yeah.
I don't know, dude. It's gonna be hard to root against Eva, and it's gonna be heartbreaking
Hmm.
when and if she has to leave. So
Yeah.
just great setups there. I mean, Star went looking for an idol, and that was maybe the only bump that this tribe had. But then it like
Hmm.
other than that, like Purple seemed pretty solid.
You get
Another
the
thing that
California
happened.
Girls
Oh yeah,
Alliance too.
yeah. How do you feel about the California Girls Alliance? You think that'll go far?
I mean,
Which now Eva's going
I
to be
I don't know
included
how
in that.
far that will go. Yeah, I do like
Yeah,
that. I mean, those I think are the four strongest people on that tribe too. So
yeah,
great job by
yeah.
them. I'm trying to think of who the third girl on that tribe is. Oh, Bianca, who,
Star and Bianca.
uh,
Yeah, yeah. And then Thomas.
yeah, who
Yeah,
the
and Thomas.
Thomas has the side alliance with her. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
dude.
they're set all around, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah, purple's gonna be a strong, tough one to beat.
Hmm.
Back at orange, I think this is funny. This is a good prompt, but so he brings there. Everyone's getting to know each other, and they're talking about what car you drive, your favorite movie, and how you like your steak. Richie,
Yeah.
will you tell us a little bit about yourself? Tell us, what car you drive, how you like your steak, and what's your favorite movie?
Hyundai Santa Fe. I like my steak medium rare, and I think my favorite movie is Dune 2.
Dune Part Two. Wow. All right. All
Dune
right.
2.
I'm not sure what that says about you. I mean, he seemed to think that that was the ultimate method of getting to know you. I'm Dylan. I drive a Mercedes, but it's not what it seems
Hey,
like.
shout out Cody Bender.
Shout out Cody Bender. It's not what it seems like. Favorite movie is The Breakfast Club, and I just like my steaks medium. So I mean, that's pretty. I don't need them rare or medium rare, but I do like that he's like I think he said that he's like I like or what did he say? Charity likes hers
Bro, I mean, David said
medium.
yeah, David said he likes his like more on the rare side. Like he doesn't even like the medium rare. He wants more of the rare. And then I
Just
think
cut it
Charity
off the
said she
cow.
likes it like well done, and
Oh, that's
that
it.
was like bad for her. Yeah, I saw a funny
I
tweet
agree though.
saying
If
she's gonna be the first person to get voted out for her choice of steak.
Yeah, dude. And honestly, I think a lot of America would agree with that. Yeah,
For
at
sure.
this one, Camilla tries to throw Charity under the bus too here at over at Orange. And yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of it is the get to know
What did you
you.
think
It is a
about
good
that?
name. I mean, it's just planting seeds, I guess, like in trying to protect your
Hmm.
own. It's risky because like I just feel like you got to learn pretty early on, like how open are people to other people? Because I'm one with this is with anyone I ever meet. If someone's like talking to me, or maybe if it's gossip, or they're opening, or telling me a secret, or talking bad about somebody, or
Hmm.
whatever, I'm always thinking like, dude, you must do this. Like, would you do this about me? And like, I think when you're reading
Yeah.
people, you kind of have to think that too. Is like, how are they receiving this information? And like, does this person feel like they talk like this to everybody, or are they really talking to me like
Hmm.
this? I'm always thinking that, and I don't know. It's risky, but luckily they didn't have to face any
She gained,
tribal, and we'll see.
yeah, she gained some points in my book. Camilla did because I've been wanting, honestly, for a while too, for people to just. I don't get why people don't just lie for no reason, and she kind of is just
Yeah,
lying for
true.
no reason, and I love that. But stir the
Yeah,
pot, see what happens, because I mean, at the end of the day, who are they going to believe? The person that told them first, or the person that the lie's about? Is
I I mean, Mr. Rome was had. straight up lied, and everyone caught him, and it was the
Yeah.
most satisfying blindside of the new era. So it's not always perfect, but also Rome lied at a time where everyone was really open with one another.
Mhm.
So it's like, it's hard to say what would work, what wouldn't. I guess back at green, Say does find the little Da Vinci Code item, and solves it all before we get. I guess the challenge might come in first, but do you like this kind of little idol hunt that it's kind of layered and it's still the beware
Yeah.
advantage? Um,
hmm
yeah, and it seems like
I
each
like it.
tribe will have something different.
I think it was smart by her to I think she gained some trust with people by telling them about it.
Yeah,
And also, like, she
yeah,
knew she wasn't going to be able to get it on her own. So good job by her for
yeah,
sure, I think, bringing a couple people
yeah.
in.
Yeah. So we get to the immunity challenge after that, after everyone's getting to know each other. It's one of those classic, like, it's so much strength and you're giving all your energy,
hmm
and then there's a puzzle at the end. Did you see the video of Jeff Probst eating it? Did you see this?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my
That was awesome.
gosh. Oh
It's good to
my
see that he's
gosh.
human.
Dude, and popped right up. It's like a little kid who like goes
Yeah.
down and is like, "Nope, I'm good. Let's keep playing."
hmm
Oh my gosh, that man hit the ground so hard, like head first, and stayed in it. Bravo to
hmm
Jeff. Bravo to Jeff, because not many can do that. Lavu pretty much dominates. Purple just kills it. Or Lavu, not Lavu. Loggy.
Typical. Yeah.
Yeah.
Loggy.
The purple tribe dominates, and they're pretty much way ahead. Orange kind of has to stay alive. At one point, Jeff says, like, it's 8 pieces to 6 pieces, and Orange is behind.
hmm
They close the gap because that green puzzle looked like it was about to topple over.
Yeah.
And then, just so much excitement. I'm sure just winning that first immunity, it's just like, we got to win this first one. Let's just go. We can't go to tribal
hmm
tonight because, you go once, you keep that juju going. But yeah, green loses, and it was pretty neck and neck. So you could, like, is it easy? Is it too easy to just blame the puzzle people? I mean, I think it was deeper than puzzles for this vote, but
Yeah, for sure.
yeah,
And I mean, there was a part where like it showed Stephanie trying to get a piece in, and she could not get the piece in.
yeah.
And like the more she pressed into it, the more the puzzle started to like come apart.
There's a
So
great moment. I think it was Charity on Orange. She like stuck her tongue out, or like smiling as she was patting in those last pieces, and I was like, "Oh shoot!"
yeah,
Like, that's got to be so exciting, especially you're getting close.
hmm
So yeah, green has to go to tribal. There's a lot of scrambling back at camp before tribal council. It seems to be either Say or Stephanie. Stephanie targeting Say because Say is maybe playing too hard, or they're clearly not
hmm
vibing. Which I love this
for
when
sure.
this happens, because the new era has been pretty kumbaya, but it always felt like back in the day
hmm
there were always people who butted heads on these first
Yeah,
days.
which makes for great television.
It does, and this felt like, oh my gosh, these two like
hmm
do butt heads, and it's just because they have a different psychology, different philosophy of how to play this game. And
hmm
I mean, I don't know that either one is right or wrong. It just depends on who you're around. Because if you did have a lot of people who were just getting to know each other, then that's maybe good. But Say, because she was playing so hard and got the idol and proved to those other, alliance
hmm
members that, like, look, I'm here to play and I want to make an alliance. And Justin and Kevin are seemingly in the middle. This is kind of how they tease to keep us thinking. But man, they really brought up
Yeah,
a good point that they knew Say might not play her idol. Why not just vote Say out right now? I'm all in favor of, like, vote them out because they can't touch you or hurt you because they're not on the jury.
yeah.
Just do it. I don't know. I don't know. It's
I do like keeping her though because I mean I think they know they lack physicality,
yeah.
and it's gonna be tough for them. So I think they know if they get to merge, they're gonna need that idol most likely.
Yeah. Yeah, and hopefully that.
That's my thought process at least.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think Kevin said it was like, it's not my idol. And so it's, I don't
hmm
know. That would be like the selfish part of me, I think, that is, do it. Then we get to tribal council, and yeah, there's a really great part by Say where Say makes a face at something Stephanie says, and she's like, sorry, I
hmm
have to work on that. I have to fix that. Really good human moment there. because I mean it's just talking about who's voting for who and why they're voting a certain way. And Say was just clearly fed up with Stephanie, and it was a clear
Mm-hmm.
out. I mean, there's nothing really wrong with Mary to take her out. I guess maybe hey, she made fire, keep her around. Were you surprised that Stephanie played the shot in the dark? She must have known.
A little bit, yeah. Because honestly, going in, I thought they were going to get rid of Say. I didn't think she was staying.
Yeah,
And because I mean,
yeah,
I also too like I was so excited. I was like, oh, I picked her first. Stephanie's gonna go, and then after everything at camp, I was like, oh no, they're gonna get rid of Say, and that was my
yeah,
thought process going in. So when she played, I was like, oh wow, she must know something that.
yeah.
So yeah,
Also,
good for
yeah.
her
What do you
though. I
what do
mean,
you what do you
why
think of
not
this?
take the shot?
What do you think of this tribal council set? Pretty cool.
Liked it. I did.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, a little different, I think.
This is a good set.
Yeah.
I don't always go like over like crazy about the tribal council sets because I'm just like, dude, I'm just excited about what happens at tribal. I'm sure when you're there, that's got to
Yeah.
feel like a crazy feeling. I still can't get over Island of the Idols though.
Hmm.
Like Rob and Sandra up in that little booth. Man, talk about all time bad ideas.
Yeah.
Crazy. But votes come in. Mary seemingly blindsided was the one vote on Say.
Yeah.
But they get all four on Stephanie, or three is what all we see. And Stephanie goes home. I mean, yeah, it was interesting hearing Jeff say he's surprised that she sat on her hands. But I
Hmm.
mean, that goes to show you. He always says, "Come play like it's your second time." And I'm sure, yeah, Stephanie's kicking herself. Like, it's not fun to be the first one going
For
home, no
sure.
matter who you are. It wasn't as
And I think it seems to because I don't think she'll be a memorable first boot
no,
either.
yeah, yeah. At least like Jelensky or even like
Francesca.
Francesca, and even John Lovett last season. Like that was memorable because
Yeah.
Andy should have gone home, and yet Andy made this crazy tear. So yeah,
Yeah.
I agree, going to be hard, but also like I mean, Say as my winner. I'm a little nervous because she
Hmm.
is so aggressive. Because I mean, a little too. You got to be aggressive, but you got to
Yeah.
pick your spots. And I don't know if she's gonna be able to keep that up. I'm excited. I think I'm gonna keep the pick, but just something to worry about. Let's go on to Survivor press conference. You got any questions for Jeff or for the Castaways?
My question is for Justin, and because I couldn't really get a read on him the entire episode.
Yeah,
Every time like he was talking to Say, it almost just looked like he was like not like he was listening, but he wanted nothing to do with what she was saying. So I wanted to ask him, what made you decide to ride with Say
yeah,
and vote Stephanie out? I think
yeah.
that would be my first want to know first thought what he thought.
Yeah, another good question for him too is that Stephanie had come to him and said, "Hey, Justin, we're going to vote out
Hmm.
Say." And then when Justin was talking to Say's like, "What name are they throwing out?" And he's like, "I don't know. They wouldn't tell me." Or like it wasn't very clear. Like he wasn't giving Say, "Yeah, you're right." Like
Yeah,
the real time of day. And it's like, "Oh, did you?" Because I was like, "Oh, dude, just say that." Like Stephanie's gunning for you, Say. Like that's a great way to get an ally.
yeah,
But he didn't, and yeah, I don't know if he was like, I don't want to step on toes. Maybe I don't know who I'm voting for yet, but it seemed like him and
true.
Kevin had to get together. Yeah, my Survivor press conference is for Jeff, and I want to know about the fall. I'm surprised he didn't talk about it on the podcast. Maybe it went viral
Yeah.
and he didn't think it was going to make the cut or something.
Hmm.
But dude, I thought that was a great fall, and I got to know if Jeff's okay. He popped right up and he's fine, but
Yeah.
man, and maybe he blacked out and he didn't even know. I
I'm gonna throw another question in for Jeff. Do you watch the episodes live every Wednesday at 7 p.m.?
ooh, that's a great question. Yeah,
I would
yeah,
love to know because I mean, obviously he knows what happens and what goes on,
yeah,
but I want to know if he watches it.
yeah, yeah. If he's sitting back watching, yeah, that's a good question. And then how does
Yeah,
he watch it? Yeah, what's his setup? That's a great question. That's a fantastic question. Also, got to know, yeah, how they let that hat for Stephanie in. I'll remember Stephanie for her hat than her gameplay. I think.
and the hat.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so pretty wild. All right, let's go into stock up, stock down. Which castaways stock are up and which castaways stock are down? Who do you got? Let's go up.
Stock up. I'm gonna go with Joe.
Yeah,
I think it was maybe a couple people you could throw on here. I went with Joe, and I think he made a great move aligning with Eva. I mean, Eva's a strong player,
no,
and just the fact that even in his confessionals, he's being truthful and adamant
Yeah.
about wanting to ride with her. I think that's very cool.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think yeah, Joe is probably the fan favorite of episode 1, Joe or Eva. That's a great pick. I'm actually
Hmm.
going to go stock up on Kevin. I think I just think I know Kevin's shoulders hurt and
Yeah.
it sounds like he's going to be able to keep playing, but just had a great episode. I mean, going on the journey, winning, coming back, and seemingly in the middle. I think Kevin is just going to have a good social game. And I don't know. I could see Kevin going pretty dang far. Um,
Hmm.
yeah. Then stock down. Who you got?
Stock down, I went with Star.
Oh, yeah.
Only because she was the one person I think if somehow Purple loses, which I don't think they will, I think she's the easy target.
Yeah.
Just because they saw her going off looking for an idol.
Yeah. Yeah. And they did say, like, oh, that would suck if we have to vote Star out.
Yeah.
But yeah, Star is decent. I went with Mary. Mary's now kind of on the outs of
Hmm.
Green, losing really the one ally. I mean, Mary probably thought that she was aligned with Kevin too, but that didn't work out either. So Mary's kind of in this spot of
Yeah.
like, well, what do I do? Mary doesn't know about the idol too on Green. Now the only one on Green that doesn't know about the idol. That's not great. Especially now Green losing. We've seen a lot of these tribes put together back-to-back losses, and Mary, I'm guessing, would be next for Green to go home. So I'm worried for Mary.
Hmm.
They got to win. They got to win the immunity challenge to stay
Yeah.
alive. All right, cool. Now let's go to who's going home next week. Well, actually, no. Let's do. Now let's go to renaming the episode. The episode title, "The Get to Know You Game." Decent enough, for a first episode. What did you
Hmm.
have for renaming the episode?
I like something that Say said. Kind of, I think it might have been after she got the clue or after she fully got the idol, and she said, "This is my season," and I think that's a great quote, great title for the
This is
first
my
episode.
season. Yeah, I like that. And that dude,
Hmm.
everyone could say that. This is my season. That's good.
For sure,
I
yeah, works
actually
for every person.
I actually wrote down what she said, like maybe right after that or right before that, but it's taking big swings. I think in the same confessional, she says taking
Yeah,
big swings because, well, one, they had those epic shots of them swinging at those during the challenge, hitting those shields or whatever. That was
yeah.
pretty sick. And yeah, just taking big swings too, as Say was doing. So I like that. I also like She's With Me, which is what Joe said about Eva. I think
Hmm.
that's a strong one.
Yeah, that would have been a good one.
Just because that moment was so special. But I'm gonna go taking big swings. All right, cool. Well, let's go to who's going home next week, and then we'll talk about fan voting, and then I have a couple other things too. So, who's going home next week? What do you got?
I think green is going to follow the trend of yellow and purple from the prior two seasons, and I think Mary goes home next week.
Ooh, you're going Mary, huh? That's who
Yeah.
I had. To be honest. But I will not take Mary. I will actually take Chrissy. I think Chrissy. I think Orange
Yeah.
is gonna lose. I'll take Chrissy to go
I can
home.
see that.
Chrissy to go home next week. Fire Lieutenant, who said that she was 30 when she watched Jeff and Survivor for the first time. Yeah, I see Chrissy going home next week. If I can't pick Mary, I think I like Mary though. So if I have to have a drink
Yeah.
next week, I'll respect it. Okay, cool. Well, Jeff says that Survivor 50 is in the hands of the fans. First off, how do you feel
Hmm.
about that? Do you like it? It feels
I'm taking it with a grain of salt because no matter what, they could always do what they want to do, and we would never know.
sure.
Similar kind of, I feel like, to like an NBA All Star roster.
Right.
You don't, sure, there's a fan vote, but I think the media portion is a big part of it as well.
Yeah. Well, the fact that they collected our email when you sign up for this made me a little like,
Hmm.
I don't like that. Like, oh, I have to get
Yeah.
newsletters. Like, oh, was this some email collection scheme? I don't love it. No, I think you're right. I think there will be easy things where like the colors, like, sure, they don't care. Like that could be easy,
Hmm.
but like, I would be shocked if they offer 26 days or 39 days. I don't think they're gonna offer that, but I think we
I
know what
think he
people
said
say.
that they're not doing that either because they have like contracts and stuff in place already with the island.
Damn it. Well, that would be where I go.
Yeah.
But they gave us four options. this week. One was for the colors. You said that you went with let's see, what'd you put?
Yellow, green, and red.
You went yellow, green, and red, which I forget which option that was. I went with option B, which was
I think C.
okay. You went with C. I went with B, which is orange, light blue, and purple. But that's my son's fan showing that I can get some orange and purple. So I went with B there. So we're set. That one doesn't really matter to me. I don't think colors have ever.
Yeah, I don't care either.
Maybe that the merge has to be black. I would say that, right? The merge has to be black.
Well, I did see something too that a lot of people were talking. Yes, there was 3 colors, but they never specified if it was because it was the 2 pre-merge and then the merge was the 3rd color.
Ooh.
Maybe two tribes.
Whoa, that's a great point. Yeah, I didn't think of that. That's that's true. The second option was earn rice or given rice. Is that right? Or is it no rice? Yeah. And I put
no rice or given rice.
I put earned rice. Like they have to earn it. So no rice, they do not start with it. Because all these,
that's what I put as well.
More than likely we're getting returning players, right? And let's give them something maybe they're not used to or something they're uncomfortable with. That's the thing is if it is all returning players, I do want some curveballs thrown at them because I don't want them to expect much, even with all this voting and whatnot. So you did earn rice as well. We're on the same page there. Here's what we're not on the same page on. Keep fire making or get rid of fire making. You say get rid of fire making. Is that correct?
Yeah.
I say keep it. Why do you say take it away?
I think just because it almost diminishes good gameplay early on in the game. And like I think that merge to like 6, 7 is such a crucial part, and I think it kind of diminishes moves from that. Yeah. We've seen a couple times where somebody like has come in and just won fire and beaten the person who should have or easily could have won.
Yeah.
And I mean,
I
think let them go to fire if it's tied 2-2 if they go and vote. But other than that.
Yeah, dude, I mean, there might even be a good twist on fire making in that if you make the final 4, I think all 4 of you should do fire making. And the person who is last is out. Because I do think fire making is an important part of Survivor, which Mary even pointed out. It doesn't matter in the new era. It should matter. I think it should. And so I do think fire making should be a thing, but I don't think it should be for the final 2. I think it should be for everyone.
So you think don't even do an immunity challenge at Final 4?
I think
all 4 just do fire.
I think the Final 4, immunity challenge should be a fire making thing because, dude, I think, and especially the last season was a great example of it. Fire making can be electric and can be so crucial, and like it still wasn't enough for Sam, but man, it made you go, "Ooh, Sam could win this thing." Yeah. Because it's like it is great for a resume booster, and if maybe there's a reward for if all 4 people do it, you're the first one to do it. Maybe that could be something for your resume or whatever. I like the idea of fire making. I agree though, it can take the air out of a certain Final 4 or whatever. But I just think it's so ingrained in what Survivor is. You got to do it. So I say keep fire. You say don't. Last one. I would be shocked if this one is less than 90%.
Yeah.
Have a live finale in Los Angeles. I like that it said Los Angeles too. Sometimes they did it in New York, but no, Los Angeles, baby. Live finale in Los Angeles or a finale in Fiji. Dude, who wants a finale in Fiji? You're not that person, right? You're not that guy, pal.
No.
Yeah.
No.
That's what I'm saying, dude. I don't get it. Like those live.
I want to see them get dressed up.
Yes. I want to see him put the weight back on.
I want Jeff on a water ski.
Yes. Yeah, I want to see him put the weight back on. I want Jeff to skydive. It's Survivor 50. Like he's probably got to go up in like a spaceship or something, and like he's got a dude. If Tom Cruise is flying into the Olympics like that, like this guy's got to do it too.
I mean, I remember being like 6, 7 years old and thinking Jeff literally took a water ski from China all the way to LA.
He did, bro. As far as I'm concerned, he did. That is, and they just come out, just walk right out from the backstage, dude. Those moments were just so like, what other show does that? That is why Survivor needs it. So yeah, I'm a big fan of that. Good, decent, dude. 4 questions. If they're doing 4 questions every week, man, I really am curious how they're going to shake that all out. And I'm curious if they'll give the results away or if it'll be like, hey, remember, these are the
Yeah.
votes. And because, yeah, family visits, I imagine, should come up. What else do you want to see on here? Family visits.
I would like to. I saw an idea maybe doing like just one advantage instead of multiple different
Mm,
advantages. I like that.
yeah.
What advantage would you want them if they did one advantage? What advantage would you want them to keep?
Ooh, like not like other than an idol. Idol's out there. Let's say
Yeah.
idol's locked in. So like a steal a vote
Hmm.
or probably steal a vote.
Hmm.
Dude, you know what they should bring back is camp raids. Let's bring back a camp raid.
Yeah.
I mean, it matters a little less so now. I think they have tried it
Yeah.
here, and it matters a little less because the timing out there. But yeah, probably steal a vote.
Hmm.
What do you think? No shots in the
I
dark.
like
I'm
when
gonna
they
say
would do.
no shot in the dark. That's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah. I really liked when they would do a like you would get an advantage in an immunity challenge
Oh
because I
yeah,
think a lot of times that can like those challenge beasts that can help them down the line kind of further their game too.
yeah, yeah. Interesting. Wonder if they'll like even do like, hey, do you want Extinction to come back? Extinction Island. Oh my gosh. Okay,
Oh,
couple other interesting things as we start off the season of Survivor. Which Richie, again, thanks so much. Richie, thanks so much again for being here. We're gonna be here every week, live
every
a
week.
couple of times, dude. I can't wait for that.
Hey,
Okay,
yeah.
two notes I have about Survivor 48. One, Jeff did a lot of press for Survivor 48. I don't know if you noticed that. He was on a lot of shows, which made me
Hmm.
think like, oh man, this is gonna be a big deal. And like I follow a lot of that media stuff for work and just as a fan. I don't know if you heard this, but Jeff Probst said that he would play in Survivor under one condition. Did you hear about this?
Whoa. No.
He said on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon that he would be a Survivor castaway if Jimmy Fallon would be the host. Now, how do you feel
Really?
about that? Because that's a little. He seemed to be serious about it, but I mean, I
Is
don't.
Jimmy Fallon the good one?
Jimmy Fallon's the one in New York. The one, the yeah,
Okay. Okay.
Kimmel's the one that you probably don't love.
Okay.
But no, yeah, Fallon.
I'd
I
be fine with that. Yeah.
I don't think I want to.
I've honestly thought about
Good.
but I would want it to be like hosts from other shows. Like get Julie Chen Moonves in there.
Hmm.
Get get Joe Rogan in there.
Oh wow, yeah,
Get
a
a
fear
bunch of
fact.
hosts.
Oh no, you don't want like I mean, people have always said like Boston Rob needs to take over Survivor if that ever happens. But yeah, like if Jeff was playing, who else would be the sole host? I mean, I just can't really picture that.
Yeah.
And Fallon, I just can't. He's a guy in a suit always, but apparently he's someone who
Yeah.
texts
I don't know
ideas.
if I would like that.
Yeah, I don't know. Interesting, but yeah, I don't know. I thought that was interesting, and then I said this in our chat today. But so Justin, he works at Luigi's Pizzeria in Revere, Massachusetts,
Hmm.
and he was wearing probably the shirt of the season. Just says pizza on it, and I love, dude. I wonder if he's looking for free press or whatnot. Because
Oh yeah.
Jeff was like, "So, how do these moves make you feel?" And he's like, "It's honestly like an order at the pizza shop. You know, these combinations maybe don't go together, but then they do." I'm like, man. And so I went on YouTube and I was like, oh, like we know a guy who does pizza reviews,
Hmm.
especially in Massachusetts. And yeah, Dave Portnoy went. It wasn't a great pizza review because he was doing it was like right around Black Friday, so it's a lot of ads in the pizza review. But he
Yeah.
gave Luigi's a 7.5. That's strong.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. So I'm sure, and I saw apparently Jake from a few seasons ago went and got that pizza. So I'm curious if it's any good.
Okay.
But I'm sure business is gonna be booming for that guy. I guess if there are Survivor fans in Massachusetts specifically. So that's all I got.
Hmm.
That's episode 1 of
I
Survivor.
have one more thing that
Oh,
I saw actually today. A on Parvati's podcast, they had Sari on,
oh,
and it might have been some sort of slip. I maybe a miswording, but she goes to Sari and says, "I can't believe that we just did Australian Survivor and you're about to go again." And
ooh.
Sari just says, "Oh," and I mean, Sari's my all-time favorite player. I don't think I want to see her on 50.
I think Suri is probably a lock for 50 because it's been so long.
You think so?
Yeah, as far as people who we haven't seen in a long time, like people pre New Era, like Cerie's probably top 5.
But
and she's been so
at the same time, though, I want to see people that haven't played 4 times yet.
yeah. Like, do you?
And I don't want to get hurt and see her get off because she's the only one that doesn't have an advantage.
Yeah, true.
Again.
Yeah. She's had some tough goes.
So maybe if they play more old school rules, I would like to see that. But
yeah, and I wonder too if he's gonna have. Will Jeff and the team pick people who haven't gone on other shows and won? Because I wonder if there's a little bit of that too, of like, oh, well, you won Traders, or oh, you were on Deal or No Deal Island, and you were on this, and you were on this, and you were on this. Which, by the way, is Survivor Australia, did that finish, or is that going on right now? Do you know?
it's finished, but they're airing that one in July.
Okay, well, when I was at that Survivor party, I was told who won. Someone knew, and they said it, and I was like, oh, wow, okay. I mean, I'll keep that, but and I don't know if it's true actually, technically, but I thought I heard
that is true. Yeah,
who won? So, all right, well, that's episode 1 of Survivor. We're gonna be back next week for episode 2. Richie, thank you so much. This is the best part of my week. Glad we do this, man.
Yes, sir.
All right,
I'll see you next week.
See you next week. Get your things. Head back to camp.